and they could not cook their food. With water trucks, buckets, and hoses, Harris County Precinct 3 crews sent to work to help the seniors who've been living without running water since the storm.
Unable to bathe, unable to cook, and unable to drink.
Earlier in the week, family members of residents living in Providence Place in Katy found out the seniors were without water. Tori Vialis' father-in-law was without running water for almost 2 weeks.
They've been on walkers, wheelchairs, coming to dig out water from the pool.
These are 3 levels in the apartment. When you have a hard time, you're on a walker, you can't get around, that's a problem. It's a real problem.
Members of County Commissioner Tom Ramsey's office found out about the water problem yesterday when they showed up to deliver boxes of food. Using an enormous water truck, they ran hoses all the way up to the 3rd floor, filling horse troughs. The apartment complex told me this afternoon that running water has been restored, but there are many more places where the water is still out.
We still don't know the full extent of all the damage.
Ramsey says their work hasn't stopped.
It's a large number of folks out there still don't have water.
He says tomorrow they'll be doing the same thing at other buildings where residents have been living without water since the freeze.
We literally are driving up and down the street looking for places that may not have safe drinking water.
Matt Doherty, KHOU 11 News.
Dozens of Texas families who say they lost loved ones because of the massive power failure, they're suing the power providers. Texas lawmakers are holding hearings and demanding changes in the energy industry, but as Len Cannon explains, Houston attorney Tony Busby is demanding justice.
The family of 11-year-old Christian Pineda says their son died in his sleep because of the cold after they lost power in Montgomery County. The wife of Vietnam veteran Tony Anderson of Crosby says they lost power and her husband died while trying to connect a portable oxygen machine in his pickup. Both families are suing their energy provider. Both are represented by Tony Busby.
I think what irks people the most, in my view, the families that I represent, I think that what creates the outrage is that we were not told the truth. The city of Houston was not told the truth. The county was not told the truth. We were told that these were rolling blackouts, and we know that that was not the case now.
We know for so many, rolling blackouts turned into days without power. Yet Busby and many people noticed plenty of power elsewhere.
The downtown business district was lit up like Las Vegas. 5 miles away in the 3rd Ward, people were dying in their homes from hypothermia.
Tony, let me play devil's advocate. Providers in Texas were never required to winterize against a storm like this. It was only suggested. You follow me?
Yep, of course, but they have a responsibility. They take your money and they cash your check.
That's right.
If you fail to pay them, they will track you down or cut off your power. So when this happens, they have a responsibility. Just because we have a deregulated power production and distribution situation in the state of Texas does not relieve them of their obligation to act reasonably.
He calls it multiple layers of failure. He's representing 31 families in Texas, he says, lost loved ones because of the blackout.
And that little boy whose picture you just saw, a memorial service will be held for him in the Woodlands this morning. We're still waiting on the results of his autopsy.
Terrible.
We know so many of you are still hurting after the storm. So KHOU and our fellow Tegna stations across Texas are joining forces to raise money for the United Way of Texas with our Texas Cares Winter Storm Relief Campaign.
There you go.
You can help